Some games let you build a deck. Others let you swing a sword. But only one asks you to gamble with both against a man who might actually be death himself. Welcome to Hand of Fate, a series where every duel with dragons, barroom brawls, and dice rolls take place on a virtual game board. In 2015, the indie-Australian studio Defiant Development took a huge gamble by blending a deck-building roguelike with a third-person action RPG. The result was unlike anything seen before. You literally play a game within the game. As the developer's site proudly described it, adventurers in Hand of Fate explore a dark fantasy world built from collectible cards distributed by a magical dealer in a meta board game. In other words, the world and dungeon are cards, and you flip them to reveal battles, mini-games, or story choices, all under the watchful eye of a snarky card dealer who narrates your fate.
We have wagered, and you have won. You may claim your rewards, yet I will also claim mine.
This unique mashup of genres is what made Hand of Fate so special. Although Hand of Fate hinges on cards, it's not a card game. It's a roguelike action RPG and a surprisingly fun and original experience. Every run is procedurally generated from your own deck of cards mixed with the dealer's, so no two adventures feel the same. Central to Hand of Fate's charm is the dealer, a silver-tongued narrator and minor demon who deals the cards and taunts you through every encounter.
Will the tools you've earned suffice to address the challenges I pose? That is the question, is it not?
He is voiced by Anthony Skordi, a highly regarded voice actor known for his work in Mafia: The Old Country, Forspoken, Mass Effect 3, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and many other games. This enigmatic figure ensures you never feel like you're just grinding levels. You're navigating his twisted tabletop gauntlet. The story of Hand of Fate is minimalist, but it's clever. You're an adventurer who steps into the dealer's grand game, wagering your very life on the outcome. The dealer has clawed his way back beyond the 13 gates to seek his revenge. In plain terms, after you defeat him once, the dealer returns for round 2. You assemble a deck of equipment and encounter cards, then venture through a dungeon that unfolds right there on the table. Each mission ends with a showdown against one of the dealer's champions. Win, and you outsmart him yet again. Lose, and the dealer claims you, likely adding you to his deck as another trapped soul. There's no sprawling, linear narrative. Instead, the dealer's narration and occasional story-driven cards hint at a darker backstory. The mystery of who he really is and why he plays this deadly game with you remains deliberately unanswered, giving every run an air of menace and intrigue. In practice, the story exists mostly to serve the gameplay. Each run sees you unlocking new cards, gear, and tokens, slowly working toward your ultimate goal. The journey feels like progressing through a fantasy campaign, but much of the plot emerges organically from the random cards you reveal. It's a memorable loop. The thrill of risking everything on a dice roll or discovering a hidden trap card gives the game an ever-present sense of fate. By the time Hand of Fate 2 arrived, this narrative framework had evolved. The sequel framed each mission as a distinct quest on a world map, complete with unique setups and twists. Here, the dealer even references events from the first game, subtly tying the two together and hinting that there's far more going on behind the scenes than he's willing to admit. Yet the core remained unchanged. The dealer dealing the cards, you trying to outwit him, and fate always hanging in the balance. In a cruel twist of fate, Hand of Fate 2 would end up being the studio's swan song. After its release, Defiant Development kept dreaming up new projects, but by mid-2019, the harsh realities of the indie market caught up. Co-founder Morgan Jaffet later admitted that the economics had simply become too risky for the studio to keep going. The announcement that Defiant would cease development left fans wondering if the dealer had finally played his last card. Fortunately, the story didn't end there. From the ashes of Defiant rose Spitfire Interactive, a new name, but built from the same core team of developers, artists, and designers who brought the Hand of Fate universe to life. At first, Spitfire focused on Capes, a turn-based superhero strategy game, but nostalgia and one offhand idea changed their trajectory. As the team enjoyed roguelike auto-shooters like Vampire Survivors, programmer Dan Treble suddenly joked, "What if we made a Hand of Fate auto-shooter?" That throwaway comment sparked a full-blown design pitch. A chance to reinterpret Hand of Fate's universe in a completely different genre while honoring its legacy. Fans were still passionate about the series, and the team knew it. The result? Hordes of Fate, a Hand of Fate adventure. A top-down auto-shooter that mashes together the card-drawing mystique of the dealer with the frantic monster-dodging chaos of Vampire Survivors. Early demos feature players weaving through swarms of enemies, grabbing loot, stacking power-ups, and eventually facing massive bosses, all framed as another one of the dealer's twisted games. Spitfire makes it clear, this isn't Hand of Fate 3, but rather a fresh interpretation set in the same universe. Many familiar faces have returned for this revival, including Jesse Gillespie, the artist behind the original's iconic card illustrations, and Anthony Skordi, once again lending his voice to the ever-mysterious dealer. The Hand of Fate IP hasn't been discarded, it's evolving. And in true dealer fashion, the next game still leaves you wondering what's waiting in the next draw. Maybe that's the real theme, fate versus choice. You can plan your perfect deck and make all the right moves, but luck can still deal you a losing hand. Yet with persistence and a little skill, you can tilt the odds in your favor. The Hand of Fate games remind us that, in dungeons and in life, sometimes you just have to play the hand you're dealt. And if it goes south, shuffle the deck and try again, because the journey is part of the fun. Now, with Spitfire Interactive holding the cards, the next chapter is unfolding. Will Hordes of Fate be the dealer's final twist, or the start of a whole new game? Only time and a few flipped cards will tell. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe. We're aiming to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so don't leave it to fate. Hit that button and help us stack the deck in our favor. Finally, if Hand of Fate captured your imagination, I think you'll also enjoy the deep dive I did on Mimimi Studios, another indie team that turned clever design into unforgettable games. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.